Radicals 11 through 20. The word in Chinese for radicals is 不守. Here are the radicals. You will need to know the circled forms that will show up for the next radical quiz. So our first radical, radical number 11, is mi, silk. And you will need to know the simplified form here. It looks like stitch, stitch, needle. The original form of silk looked like two strands of silk that were being spun together. This is from the original form about 3,000 years ago. Here's the animation for how to write it. Stitch, stitch, needle. Stitch, stitch, needle. The next radical is insect. Originally, it was a picture of a snake. And as time progressed, the character evolved to look like what we have today. Here's how you draw the character. In the corner here, I've shown you what I think this radical looks like. I think it looks like a snail with the antenna, and the top part is the shell. Or you can remember it as a butterfly, where the bottom part is the body and the antenna, and the top part, the box bisected, are the wings. Radical number 13 is speech, yan. This is the original form. You need to know the simplified form for our quiz. Here's how you write the simplified form. One of my students imagined it as an eye and a big open mouth for speech. Radical number 14, woman. We've already learned person. Woman is also a picture of a body. You have her head, her arms, her feet, and her wide childbearing hips. The original character for woman was a person kneeling on the ground in submission with their hands crossed. But she's a liberated woman now. And here's how you draw it. Draw a less than sign, the right hand swoosh, and then her arms. Less than, right hand swoosh, then the arms. Radical 15, bamboo, the panda's favorite radical. You'll need to know this form. And here's the animation. Radical 16, fire. You can see in this illustration it looks like a fire with little flames coming off it, or a person radical on fire. Think of it however helps you remember. You will need to know both forms. Some people draw it by drawing the two flames first and then the person radical inside. Other people draw the left flame, the person radical, and then the right flame. Both are acceptable. Here's the alternate form. This is the radical for king or emperor. He's the man who connects the line for heaven and the line for earth. Just like the Egyptians, the Chinese saw the king or the emperor as a man who connected earth with heaven, and so that's why this character has the three lines depicting earth and heaven. This radical has a second meaning and a second way of drawing it. What was the king's special jewel in China? He would have jade. And so another way for drawing this radical is with this extra dot here. Both of these forms can mean king, and both of these forms can mean jade. So it depends on context. Here's the animation. You draw the line for heaven, the middle line, vertical line, and close the character. The next radical is sun. In its ancient form, it was a circle with a dot inside it. but all characters became squarified, and so now it's a box with a line inside it. And here's the animation. Just like when you're drawing a mouth, you do the left line, an upside down L, a line inside, and close the box. In Chinese, whenever you have a box with something inside it, you have to fill the box before you shut the box. So the last line you draw is always going to be the bottom line. The next radical is stone, 石. It's a picture of a stone falling from a cliff. I don't know why this guy is trying to catch it. They ask me every year. And here's how we draw it. Our last radical is fish. In ancient times, when characters were pictographs, it really looked like a fish. But over time it became more stylized and more abstract and looked less like a fish. For a while it had fire in it because you cook the fish over the fire. But finally, the communists, when they simplified Chinese to increase literacy, took the fire out and made it one swoosh. And here's how you draw fish. Almost like a fish hook. A box with a plus sign inside it. Close the box, and that swoosh. And just for you to be doubly sure, here's the exact forms which will be on next week's quiz.